Hi guys, welcome to my channel. So for this video I'm going to be showing you guys how to make loops in the back of a dress. So this is the first part and the second part of the dress, and this is the half length of it. So the first thing I'm going to do first is, obviously, I'm taking 1 inch. I'm taking one and a half inch for my zip allowance, 1.5 inch also over here for my zip allowance. I'm just going to go on to mark down my zip allowance area. So after marking it out, this is what it's looking like. Then I'm just going to go over this area just like this, and then I'm going to measure the wideness of the loop. So I'm using 3.5 inch. It's 3.5 inch, and I'm just going to do the same thing from the zip allowance here. I'm going to do the same thing, 3.5 inch. I'm just using the chalk to chalk it down, 3.5 inch. So guys, this is what it's looking like now. This is the zip allowance area. Let's not forget, this is like just like the zip allowance area, and this is the wideness of the loop. So the thing I'm just going to do now is, I already have a bridle that I folded, a satin that I folded just like this. Can you guys see this? This was the way I fold it long. And then for the loop, I'm just going to use my tape to measure out the length of it. I'm just going to explain what I mean. I'll show you guys what I mean. So I'm using 3 inches here, 3 inches. I hope you guys can see 3 inches. And then I'm going to use my scissors to cut out 3 inches. This is it. And I'm going to repeat the same process to get as many as possible. So I went ahead to cut it, and this is what it's looking like, guys. Remember, it was 3 inches that I used to cut. This is 3 inches. So what I'm going to be doing now over here is, this area that I marked, I'm just going to put it like this. I'm going to face it like this for this part. But before then, I'm going to mark out 1/2 inch. I'm going to go down by 1/2 inch. And why I'm going down by 1/2 inch is just because of allowance for sewing when I'm using lining to turn it up. So for this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to place it over here, and then I'm going to show you guys. So this is what it's looking like. And so guys, this is what I did. I used the safety pin to hold this down, and then after doing this, I'm going to go down also by 1 inches apart. After doing it 1 inches apart, look at it. I'm still going to bring the loops here just as I did before, and then I'm going to put my safety pin on it just as you guys can see. Then I'm going to bring it closer again, and then I'm going to put my safety pin on it, because this place I'm putting safety pin on are those areas that I'm going to be using the machine to sew. Then I'm repeating the same thing. I'm going down by 1 inch over here, bringing this loop just like this. So guys, after doing it, this is what it's looking like. So I'm just going to go on and sew it over this side. All the places I pinned, I'm just going to sew it on top just to make it. I'm going to sew it as many times as possible, just so that it will not be able to cut out. Here is what I'm just going to do. So after sewing it, this is what it's looking like, guys. Can you see? This is what it's looking like. So the next thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to cover up these rough areas, and what I'm going to be using is the same lace. And look at the lace here. This is the lace, and I went with is close to like 2 inches I used over here. This is what the lace is. I used a bridal satin to cover it up, and then let's keep this one aside for first. So for this side, remember I said I'm going to cover this side up. I'm going to place it over here. I'm going to place it over here just like this, and I will use my office pin to pin it down. So guys, after pinning it down, this is what it's looking like. I've not yet sewn it. See guys, can you see? This is what it's looking like. You see, I've already covered this line, so I'm just going to go ahead and sew it on my machine. So after sewing it guys, this is what it's looking like right now. Then guys, can you see this area is now neat? So to close down this area, I repeated the same thing I did over here. I'm just going to keep this one aside. So for this area right now, what I'm just going to do is to make this place as well to be clean as well. I'm going to fold it like this. I don't know if you guys can see this. I'll fold it. I think using 2 inches was too much, so you can just use 1 inch, I mean half an inch, sorry. And then I'm going to use my office pin to pin it this area. So guys, can you see what I'm doing? Basically what I'm doing is I'm folding it in, and then I'm using my office pin to pin it down. I'm just going to repeat the same process. So this is what it's looking like now after using my office pin to do it, and I'm just going to use my machine again to sew on top of it just like this. So guys, this is what it's looking like after sewing it. Can you see how the areas is now neat? So I was just thinking about, I was saying that I was going to film only this, but let me just film how I completed everything, how I coupled everything. So this is the lining that I used for it. I'm going to be using to cover this up. So for this lining over this side, this is what it's going to be looking like. So this is the skin net I'm going to be using to do it, and this is the lining. So just to join everything, the first thing I'm just going to do is I'm going to turn this up just like this. And then I'm going to be sewing this side, and this area that I'm sewing is my zip allowance area. It's the zip allowance area. So after sewing those sides, I'm going to go in to add my net, and how I'm going to be doing this is I'm going to turn this up over here, and then I double the net into two just so that it could be thick, and then place the net over here, and then I'm going to cover it up. I'm just going to pin it down. So guys, I'm just going to go ahead to sew these areas that I pinned down. So this is what it's looking like after coupling everything. So you guys can see the loops area. So I'm going to be using my rope. I'm going to be using the rope I made. Look at the rope over here guys, to connect the loop. So the first thing I'm going to do is this is what I'm just doing. You need to attach it to this side. Then so guys, this is what it's looking like over here. So when I'm done with the dress, I'm just going to show you while wearing it how it looks like. So this is what it's looking like. This is how the back is looking like right now. Don't forget to like, subscribe and share. Thank you guys. See you guys on my next video.